What is up, everyone? My name is Tube, and welcome back to another video where today, this is going to just be a quick little rant video because my computer is literally going to die of a heat death if I do any super long videos, so I'm going to do something short in the meantime until I upload the rest. This is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, and it's the problem with not just modern Godzilla movies, but sort of modern franchises in general. And I'm going to try and divide this up into several categories, but I don't really have that many issues with it. It's just several things that I think are bugging me. I don't think that, but my friends agree with me on these problems that I have stated, as I've mentioned them a lot, and I think this is actually a good video topic because it says a lot about the nature of society. So I'm going to give you an example for the first issue that I have with the franchise. So let me give you an example. So when was the last time Spider-Man or Batman had an original villain? I bet you don't know the answer to that question. And if you do know the answer to that question, how many other people know the answer to that question? That's what I thought. So the issue with modern movies and modern franchises in general is that they keep bringing back characters from previous movies, TV shows, comic books, games, installments. They're scared to try something new. And I am so tired of seeing the stupid, repetitive arcs that I keep seeing in modern franchises over and over again. Every time there's an animated Batman movie, it's either Catwoman shows up and they do have a love story, and then Joker shows up, or the Riddler shows up, and they just do their own thing, and instead of trying to promote a new character besides these old characters, they just stick to the old characters. And every time they do introduce new characters, they don't have superpowers, they're just normal people, and they're there for like one movie. So I'm going to give you an example because I gotta steer on topic with this video, is that with Godzilla, when was the last time we've had an original monster? And I'm not gonna say, oh, what about Salunga this year? Or Monster X? Jaden, you're stupid. Okay. When was the last time we had a monster that wasn't based off another one? Salunga is a combination of Gamera and Baragon. Well, Monster X is basically King Ghidorah. So when was the last time we had an original monster then? Well, that was Megaguirus, but Megaguirus is also based off of Megadora from the Rodan movie. Okay, well then Orga, but Orga is based off the 1998 Godzilla and uses Godzilla's DNA to look like that. Then Destroyer, Oxygen Destroyer, Biolante. Well, she also uses Godzilla cells. If we're going to go all the way back, the first or the last kaiju to not be based off an existing creature, character, or item is Titanosaurus. All the way back in 1975. So yes, if you want to count Biolante as a different monster, go ahead. Destroyer, go ahead. Orga, Megaguirus, go ahead. Even with that, Megaguirus was in 2000 and just 2000. Megaguirus last was on screen in 2000. Monster X, sure, 17 years ago. Salunga, sure, 2021. It took them 17 years to think of a new monster that was still based off pre-existing ones. Why? Why? With the MonsterVerse, it could have been super easy for them to not show any new monsters and just bring old ones. But they didn't, because that's how you get a story to progress. Let the people like and get introduced to something new, rather than try and focus on things that are old. That's why when we see our guys on camera in 3D, CGI, Gigan or something, it's so much more refreshing. Because you know he lives in this universe that's meant to reflect on the old, but go forth with the new. In terms of Modern Godzilla movies in general, a majority of his villains are just redesigned versions of the old monsters. And yes, I do like some good redesigns, but I'm sick and tired of seeing the same story arcs play over and over again, when there is so much more potential to introduce new and lovable characters and creatures that could even surpass the old ones, that people are willing to accept in this day and age. The second problem, which I'm going to get into this because it is a problem that I have had forever. So I'm going to play a clip of Shin's roar. Cool. Here's his beam. Here's Ultima's roar. Here's Godzilla Earth's roar. to notice something. What do they all have in common? They are reused sound effects. You heard that right. All those sound effects are based off of previous sounds from various movies. The entire Shin Godzilla, roars are based off the Showa era, with one from 1984. Earth is just a deepened version of the Millennium Heisei era roars, and Ultima is a combination of the Millennium and Heisei era roars. We have been listening to the same sound effects for over 20 years. And again, with the Monsterverse, it's so easy to create new sound effects. And they actually ended up trying to make new sound effects for Shin, but they said, oh, and quote, I heard this from a Wikizilla or something, don't quote me on this, but I insert quote, they couldn't surpass the old sounds. Congratulations, you are correct. But then, 5 years later, you're still using the same sounds. And I'm so tired of hearing, I get it, it's iconic. I like this, the roar sound effects and the sound, the stomp or whatever. The atomic breaths are always different, which I like that they're actually doing things with the sounds, the atomic breaths, because that's the only thing that's different. But clearly, you got to introduce new roars, not just new sound effects for the creatures, new roars, new main sound effects. Side sound effects are cool and all because I know Earth has a ton of new side sound effects, but coming down to his main roar, it's still old, based off the old. And I just don't know why, because it's so easy to experiment and make cooler, more unique things than what we already have. This is sort of a minor section because I don't really actually think this is an issue, as long as it stays with these two occurrences. And I'm going to give an example how to fix that. Godzilla having forms. See, with Shin Godzilla, it made sense that he would have forms because that's basically what it is. It's a metaphor for evolution, nuclear radiation, its effects on the creatures. So in Shin's case, it made sense that he had forms because he's evolving into the perfect organism. That's the whole point of the movie. With Ultima, it doesn't make any sense why he should have forms. I get that Ultima is basically trying to copy off of Shin because Shin is like the one of the famous versions of the character, not counting Legendary, because we all know Legendary is the most popular. I think as long as it stays to these two occurrences, he can have form. I don't understand Ultima's case because you could have easily just had Titanosaurus and Varan, because clearly that's what they were based off of, and then no one would have batted an eye because you have two iconic Toho monsters that have only been used uno. But no, they're Godzilla's forms for some reason. I don't understand why they're his forms. It doesn't make any sense that he should have forms. He's the only creature in the movie that does have forms, like kind of the Spider Hedorah stuff, but those are evolutionary offshoots, so it's just kind of weird, especially when you consider that they marketed the Ultima form. So it would have made a lot more sense if he maybe had just like terrestrials, right? You make that a little bit more amphibian, give him some gills or something, some webbed hands, make him swim, and then he has another form. And that's my solution to this. In the Heisei era and mainly all the other eras, the 1954 is the beginning of the evolutionary branch. And when they absorb enough radiation or something they grow old, they start to like evolve. And with the Heisei era, he had the 1984 look, and then he had the prominent Heisei look. So in terms of Godzilla's case, if you had him evolve from a weaker form into a stronger, more prominent, recognizable form, that's okay because that's happened before. That is like what we're used to. In Shin's case, it made sense. But in Ultima's case, it doesn't make sense because every monster is trying to be unique. And this is another minor one, and I'm going off of this rant because of Single Point. But in Single Point, they reuse Mechagodzilla's design, and I don't understand why they did that because I think they need to stray away from old designs to focus on new designs to be more unique. I think Single Point Gears looks cooler than regular Gears because it's more unique. And if they ever make more Godzilla movies in the future, I don't want them to be the plain black suit with white spikes and dinosaur face. I want them to be unique. Make him green or something. And a lot of the other franchises don't actually redesign the characters that much. And again with like Godzilla the Ride, because that's another example that I think they're going in the wrong direction. They're trying to make their designs too much like Legendary because the Godzilla design is actually based off concept art, and Ghidorah is just 2019 with hands. Rodan, you don't even get to see his design, but it's basically Heisei, Showa, plus 2019. So I hope that they don't try and stray to be like America's design. If they want to keep like the Ride Godzilla, I mean, I guess that's different enough. Go ahead. But I don't want their designs to be based off of previous incarnations, like the Mega Godzilla Single Point thing was, or the Ride stuff. They need to be unique, and they shouldn't be based off of other things. It's the same thing with like the original Kaiju idea. It's just I want them to be based off of other things. 2 major problems, 2 minor problems. I don't have anything else. All I want them to do is experiment and find something that they like. They're playing too safe right now in an era where if you try and play it safe, things don't go that well. Trilogy movies, I think these solo movies can work, but I think a TV show is their best bet right now. So hopefully sooner or point, season 2 does do well, and they do experiment with more designs, and maybe bring back old kaiju, but also introduce new ones. And God, please have new sound effects. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you all next time, and that was just a little rant video that I needed to get off my chest because holy crap, do they reuse a lot of stuff. Later everyone, have a wonderful day. And remember guys, like and subscribe for more. Let's try and hit 10K. I'll see you next time. Peace out, gang.